start with the main one. UFC 284 we're talking about in Perth. Just completed. It was why we were a little bit late. Watching our boy Volkanovski, Alexander the Great, trying to push his case to well, maybe even GOAT status, like getting the light belt and being a dominant champ. Unfortunately, it falls a little bit short.
He was so close. We watched the fight, all 5 rounds. That's the first time that Islam Makhachev has been taken to 5 rounds ever in his career. And we thought, maybe, with our Aussie goggles on, that Volk won 3 and 5 handedly.
Yep.
So I suppose the judges have scored the first, second, and maybe 4th rounds to Islam.
One judge gave 4 rounds to Islam, and
he's on crack.
Yeah.
like 49-46. I'm sorry. I can't accept that. Yeah. 48-47. Makhachev. Fair.
Yeah, we could say
fair. Control the ground.
Yeah, well, I think round 1 and 2 definite for Islam. 3 and 5 was definite for Volk for me. The 4th was the debatable one about how you score that, because there was the takedown for Islam and he had ground control for 4 minutes and did nothing with it. But then also Volk couldn't escape from that position. But they didn't improve or change anything. It's just, I guess in that regards, you probably lean it towards Islam because he had the position and controlled it for the whole round, but it was a nothing round essentially. If I could, I probably wouldn't have given it to either of them. And again, maybe we do a draw and then run it back.
We'll get into that
because that's probably a fair way to run that back. But
there's not a planet in this solar system or in the universe in which 49-46 makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm sorry.
I agree.
I'm an Aussie. Of course, I've got a vested interest. I'll cop 48-47 on the chin, but I just don't know how you could score that 49-46. And then that begs the discussion around UFC judging and is there better ways, and maybe we don't get into it this podcast.
Yeah,
but,
it's a bit terrible. I think there's been some recent decisions as well that haven't been real great.
No.
But you kind of get that. You get the ups and downs of like, you get a decent card and then, there's some bad decisions and then, that's the rhetoric. You don't let it go to the judge's decision. Take it out of their hands.
And Volk had the opportunity to do that in that 5th round when he had that mount and he was grounding and pounding,
trying his best. But
he could have finished and put it out of the judge's hands there.
Yeah, maybe need another minute just to try to work in a better position. Just didn't have enough time, I guess, to finish and to kind of lay the groundwork. But but it was great visual. That's how the fight ended, with Islam standing above. With Volk standing above Islam, raining down shots. After 5 rounds, and damage-wise, it looked more like Islam was a bit more beat up on the face because of it. So it was a great fight. It was, elite from both sides of it. You could see how much bigger that Islam was of Volk, and Volk really, to his credit, it was just like, I'm here to challenge myself. I'm here to push myself. I've dominated the featherweight division, and I've come up to fight the big boys, and showed that he could compete. He's pound for pound second best fighter in the world as of this fight. His rank is probably will flip now post this. Pushed him to 5 rounds. No one's ever done that. Guy that most people thought was the next Khabib. Did things to Islam that no one could ever do to Khabib as a comparison.
Yep.
Fought through the wrestling, got out of those positions. Was had some bad spots, but never looked super in danger that he was going to lose the fight.
No.
And then maybe got the better on the feet. So
he can hold his head high.
Oh,
definitely. No Aussie is disappointed in watching that effort from Volkanovski. No.
Yeah. And give Islam his credit as well. He did what he needed to do. He definitely looked more powerful when he was landing shots, especially earlier in the fight. Volk did work his way through that, and then I think was better in the back half of the fight. But Islam's game plan was good. He did what he needed to do to win rounds and to win that fight. For a fight that Volk historically goes to decisions. If that was always the game plan, like, hey, we knew there was going to be a long fight. Let's make sure we win the earlier rounds, which he did, and then make it very hard for the judges to give Volk their home field advantage in their decisions.
The crowd has to play into it.
It was a great crowd too, and they were, of course, not happy. But
well, just again, not taking anything away from Makhachev, but everything on social seems to lean towards Volk being robbed as well.
I don't see it as it's not the worst robbery.
Robbery is a strong word, isn't it?
It is.
It was a close fight. I think I'd probably lean more towards a draw. I wouldn't have rated that fourth round.
Draw.
But no, I was just saying it was clearly 2-2. That fourth round was just nothing. I just wouldn't give it to either of them. That's how I would have judged it. I would have gone. There was just nothing.
Scratch the fourth round, go to the sixth round.
Yeah, exactly. We'll draw up. Let's go overtime. Let's have a sixth round. I could see, Volk, of course, got to do a job, go back, defend his belt. If he does that, Islam keeps his track, then there's no reason why they can't fight again. No. Very much like
although
Nunes and
what does Makhachev have to prove, though?
But Volk said he might go back to featherweight and, was talking about Yair Rodriguez.
Yeah, he said he's got to do the job, but he said, I'm not done in the lightweight division either.
He did say that. So Makhachev should fight someone else. And
exactly.
Then
he doesn't
if
want,
he wins,
he doesn't want the winner of Chandler and McGregor, because that's the fight for
which is the money
fighter.
That's a money grab.
It's a money fight, yeah. Chandler's lost. He's 1-4 or something like that, or 1-3 in his last 4. So no, it'll be one of those guys in 2 and 3 in that spot, ready to go. Probably Dustin, maybe, or they run it back with Oliveira. So we'll see. Or if Oliveira gets a good win, that's kind of where I think it is. Maybe a couple of fights, they go away, they fix their divisions up, and then again, it's a little like, hey, they're pound for pound 1 and 2. Let's sort it out again. So who's improved in the last 18 months, maybe, and then we get to run it back. So we'll see.
Let us know what you think in the comments. If you think Volk was robbed or if Makhachev probably just a little bit better on the day. I'll tell you what I can say, hand on my heart, is Volk is maybe one of the, I'm trying to say this delicately, sickest see you next Tuesdays athletes in Australia, because he's so humble and he takes on challenges and fights guys that are 4 inches taller than him.
Yeah, he might be not making as much money as some of the guys in the NBA, etc. But we didn't even cover Malanta, playing left tackle for the Eagles.
Could buy an NRL club.
Yeah. For Volk, the athlete, for the guy kind of pushing and challenging himself to try and take his game to another level after being such a dominant champion. All full credit to him.
Definitely.
Let's roll through the rest of the card. Featherweight has a interim champion. That is Yair Rodriguez defeating Josh Emmett. They were exchanging in the first round, and then Yair caught him in the triangle. The first time ever that Josh Emmett gets submitted, and the first time that Yair gets a submission. Interesting when a guy that's predominantly striking focused is able to submit. Does that make that a little bit scary, or do you think Volk goes down there and takes care of business?
It'd be interesting because I guess if you do the UFC or mixed martial arts math, Rodriguez losing to Holloway losing multiple times to Volk. Maybe he's got it already kind of over him, but as we're just talking about, who makes the improvements, who changes, adding submission game as well to I think that fight would be striking in my opinion, just the way it kind of will go down.
Volk held his zone against Makhachev.
Oh, didn't he?
Yeah,
in
the wrestling.
Yeah, it was the same thing. It was like, well, now what's Volk's ground game looking like? Can you even get that there? So it's another elite fight and a good division.
Just great that they're all just upskilling, just making everything so much more competitive. Just that next level.
Agree.
Welterweight, Jack Della Maddalena defeats Randy Brown. It was a good night outside of the main event. It was a good night for the Aussies. He's probably going to shoot up a little bit in the rankings. Did you catch much of this, Muggs?
Did he call out Paddy the Baddy after his fight? I think I saw that.
I think he did. He did.
That'd be interesting in the welterweight division. They're kind of in the similar sort of spot.
Be a bit of cash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which one was this one?
Third fight. fight from me.
Yeah, I was zoning in and out of fights, so I can't remember all of them. No, I didn't catch much of this one.
He submitted him?
Submitted him, yep. Red naked.
Yeah, there's huge raps on Jack as well as a potential future star for the Australians, like future champion kind of thing for Australia. So we'll have to see.
Stacked division.
Yeah, definitely.
Welterweight, yeah, it is.
It is, yeah.
Heavyweight, Justin Taffer getting the job done on Parker Porter. He knocked him out within a minute.
Did see this one.
Heavyweight.
just a classic heavyweight.
Yeah.
Overhand, just clocked him and...
Yeah, job's done.
Job's done.
Bit of brouhaha.
Yeah.
And then I guess we've got to talk about Jimmy Crute, our light heavyweight, fighting out a draw. In a fight, I guess he would have lost without the points deduction.
Yes. So the way that it works in the UFC is it's majority rules from the judges. So 2 judges scored at 28-28, which means...
29-28, yeah.
It's 28-28. It has to be
a
draw.
So they've ruled 2 rounds to 1, and the other dude was all 3 rounds to his opponent. But because of the points deduction, that's the equalizer there. So,
what's your thoughts around that? If we don't want to have draws so much in this sport,
we have draws fuck all the time.
It is rare, but it's not like I was saying amongst pre-show. It's not like soccer. If you have a 0-0 draw and then you play, on Wednesday night in the FA Cup and then you play next weekend,
play them again in a few more rounds.
It's 4, 5, 6 months of preparation. For it to end in a draw is a little bit disappointing for both the fighter and the viewer, I would think. Does the UFC start to think...
We've seen some AFL draws in the finals, and they play it the following week.
And then they change the rules straight away.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, as disappointing as it is like, that's the game. Like, obviously neither fighter really had the upper hand on the other fighter.
Well, by the judging there, Alonso would have won this fight. But I guess it was the grabbing of the cage for that points deductions enough to edge him that he would have won that round. Like, you get so much an advantage of a position that it's leading to him winning the round. So that points deduction means he's not winning that round, which then, of course, in this point leads to this draw. I don't know. You could talk about judging and scoring for a long time. I think using the boxing kind of scoring in a thing that's way more dimensional than say boxing is now,
and that can be a whole nother podcast.
3 judges versus do you do 5? Do you do 10? Do you do crowd scoring or some shit like that?
Fox is the new champion. if that's the fucking chat.
But it is what it is for now, and I understand that how it ends up the way it did. Would I get rid of draws? Probably not. Do I think the majority draw, like here where it's 2 judges had the draw and 1 had the victor? I think that I'm happy with that. That kind of makes sense. It's still 2 judges versus 1. Overall judging and scoring, look at it.
They probably run it back, maybe.
Usually with a draw, they do run it back.
And shout out to Jamie Malarkey on the undercard, defeating Francisco Prado, another Aussie to get a win on the night. So pretty successful night, really, on the Aussies' behalf. You got some scoring there.
There's a scorecard for Makhachev and Volkanovski.
Gonna have to zoom in here for our eyes. Oh, sorry, I just liked said post. So, Judge 1 scored it. Makhachev, Volk, Makhachev, Volk.
That's what we're saying.
Judge 2, this is the judge that, like, seriously, can we get a drug test on this guy?
So he gave the 3rd round to Islam as well, which was the difference. And then
9, 9, 9, 9, 10.
Yeah, and then the last judge was
lay off the crack, bro.
Last judge was saying.
And that's watching it live. We thought 3 and 5 Volk.
Yeah,
and then coin flip.
Yeah. And then the 4th round was how would you score it, and they've scored it in favour of Islam. Understandable.
That second judge is fuck, man. That's
I don't see how you'd see that 3rd round for maybe because Volk got the knockdown in that round. The wrestling was kind of comparable.
Yeah.
I think it felt like Volk was starting to take over that fight in the third round. That's why I'd also give him that round. But anyway,
second judge is a Putin cuck.